Okay, there we go. Everything is working, and yes, we are live earlier than usual today. Kind of retooling the streaming schedule a little bit. Things are kind of in flux at the moment, so the stream schedule is kind of fluctuating. I'm thinking of maybe doing some earlier stuff, because I am noticing later at night, I don't really have the energy to do like super late at night, so I'm thinking maybe do stuff earlier in the day, but do a bit longer. But how are you doing, Omar? Hope you're doing well, Omar. Hello, Ace, the C-130. And we are today hunting Impadimp again. And that's because I want to get the shine. Hello, Rafael Castro. How are you doing? It's been a while. And now we are back to hunting for Impadimp. So I've decided to go with just exclusively fairy sandwiches here in Tag Tree Thicket? Tag Tree Forest? Tag Tree Thicket? Yeah, Tag Tree Thicket. Because that way we don't get spawns of Zorua, and we can just go hunt as Hello there, Joshy Griffin. How are you doing? I'm doing very well. I got a video out today basically talking about the 6 things we need to have for the DLC. Looking forward to seeing what we get. We got the Presents tomorrow. So we're gonna get like a follow-up Pokemon Presents. I don't know exactly what to call it. I guess like Pokemon Follow-up Presents or Pokemon Presents Part 2 or whatever the second thing we're gonna be getting tomorrow is. It's gonna be more info on the DLC. And I'm fingers crossed hoping we're gonna get more info on Paradox Entei and Paradox Terrakion. But I don't think we are going to. I think we're just gonna get maybe some more info on, I think it's Kitakami, I think is how the name for that thing is pronounced. The first area of the DLC. Oh yeah, there's the Mimikyu appears around here as well. Nope, you're not shiny. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm hoping, like, I don't think we're gonna get too much info on DLC Part 2. I think it's predominantly gonna be DLC Part 1 info is what we're gonna be getting. Because, remember, DLC 1 comes out in, what, 3 weeks? Maybe a little more than 3 weeks, so we've got we really don't have that long, all things considered, before DLC 1 lands. Hello there, David, how are you doing? Who gave that? It's not Wigglytuff, it's Screamtail. That's what it is. Also, we got a theory video on the Paradox Pokemon that is going to be coming out probably in like a week or so. It's basically going to be sort of looking at the Paradox Pokemon in kind of things about the Paradox Pokemon that don't really make sense. Same with like the Time Machine proper. Because there are a few things about them that do not make sense. And we're kind of going to be examining those things that don't make sense. Hello there, Omar. Muda. It is not useless to be shiny hunting, Omar. It is always useful to be shiny hunting. But how are you doing, Mr. Screamtail Omar? I hope you are doing delightful. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Kitakami and seeing what we're going to be getting. I still think the start of it is going to be, we're going to be getting a Sinnoh starter. So, a lot like what happened with the Bulbasaur Squirtle back in Isle of Armor. It's going to be, you got to pick a new starter. I think that's what's going to happen with it. It's going to be interesting. I'm really hoping that with that happening, we're going to finally be able to evolve Ursaluna in this game, because you can't evolve Ursaluna at present, but I'm assuming when we get that, we're going to be able to evolve Ursaluna finally within the game. Because technically, Ursaluna does not exist in this game's Pokedex. That's why you actually cannot run Eviolite Ursaring right now. You can give the Ursaring the Eviolite, but the Eviolite simply will not boost Ursaring's stats at all. Oshawott is still not shining overodds. Yikes. Not fun, Raphael. That is not a fun thing. I very much feel you on overodds water starter shiny hunts. Cough, cough. Greninja. But thankfully we eventually got that shiny, so we're done. Also, wow, the lag is finally slowing down. Well, the lag is, like, still going crazy, but Rain in Lag Tree Thicket. Not exactly a fun time for getting your spawns quick. Not exactly a good state of things. Again, the good thing is that Impidim's shiny does stick out very heavily, so if we do see the little blue demon thing, it'll be very obvious. Also here to announce, I'm in mistake. So, what? Omar, you need to explain. Those aren't English good. I don't think you English good, Omar, with that. There's a few errors. I think so. I think it's probably going to be some derivative of that, where it's like a school field trip. And then I'm assuming for Blueberry Academy, which is going to be DLC 2, the Indigo Disc, I think is like you are going to be like a transfer student almost. But yeah, there's a few thinking thought lines we've got for DLC 2, but it looks like it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting, to say the least. I'm hoping that there's going to be some good stuff and things going forward with it. I very much immensely look forward to the DLC, and especially seeing what new Pokemon are added. I actually saw a funny thing on Twitter a little bit before starting off the stream, which was basically someone making a comment about how the designers for Sword and Shield said that 3 of every 10 Pokemon they designed for Sword and Shield ended up making it into the game, and the person was saying, yeah, look how, like, lazy Game Freak is. They're saving designs for, like, future gens, and the entire comment section of it was, so they're doing what they've always done. Because if you guys don't know, Generation 2's entire Pokedex was all beta designs from Generation 1 that were actually scrapped. So Pokemon has actually been using beta designs from the previous generation in future games. One of the other examples is actually Shellos and Gastrodon. Originally, they were supposed to be Sinnoh. Not Sinnoh. They were originally supposed to be Hoenn Pokemon, but they didn't finalize or get a satisfactory design for Shellos before the release date of the Generation 3 games. So they ended up shelving it and just putting them into the next game. Hello there, Price. How are you doing? But yes, it's interesting thinking that a lot of the designs we're getting for some Pokemon potentially going forward are going to be beta designs. That's honestly because that's what I said before about Archaladon. Archaladon was a thing designed back in Sword and Shield that they just didn't implement. And now that has been completely confirmed. And I'm happy about that. Hello there, Santa. How are you doing? Oh, Sans is, not Santa. I read that as Santa is sus. My smooth brain is nothing but paste. My brain is always paste. Actually, you know what? I probably should switch to the other controller. I don't need precision controls in this game, so I should just use this controller. I should just use this one. Because the weird thing is, this controller doesn't like working on the overworld map, but the other controller does not like having the joysticks move. So it's both the controllers have some issues. Oh nice, thank you so much for coming over from Vandy. Yeah, we enjoy watching Vandy. Vandy, very funny guy. He is very delightful. Vandy is a very positivity person. Always fun to just go out and just lurk in Vandy streams because he's just so happy. Hello there, Impidimp. Impidimp. Where is the blue Impidimp? Where is blue Impidimp? Because one of the reasons we're actually hunting for shiny Impidimp is I would like to get a full shiny team of my non-legendaries for the Elite Battle League, because in about a week and a half, I am going to be having my first match with the Doorman. And that's going to be a showdown revengeance for week 1 of my defeat last season. And I want to get, like, my full team shiny before that fight. And I have GRIMMSNARL in my draft pick of my draft pick of 9 Pokemon. GRIMMSNARL was one of them. I'm still surprised GRIMMSNARL made it until, I think, pick... What was it? Pick 4 or pick 3 is when GRIMMSNARL was joined by me. Yeah, GRIMMSNARL made it until pick 4. Which, I have to question... How did no one join GRIMMSNARL? Well, again, most people go for the first 2 picks. You're going to be the legendaries. I butchered this username. Kept it again. It's UTV. Hello there, Crimson. How are you doing? Maybe they will make it into... yeah. I'm assuming what they're going to be doing is... Because we've already seen the Alolan forms are... The Alolan and, like, other regional variants are in the Indigo Disc and likely Kitakami, which is the area for the Teal Mask. So, very likely that's where you're going to be able to go to evolve your Pokemon into their Hisuian, Alolan, and Galarian forms. So, that's probably where that's going to be happening. And also, very likely, we're finally going to be able to get Ursaluna evolved in this game, because that is... not a fun state of affairs, because you have to transfer... We talk about this in the newest video we just put up, but if you want to get an Ursaluna or a Kleavor, you need to transfer them back into Legends Arceus. It's fine, just down the ground. You need to transfer them into Legends Arceus, and then transfer it back into your Scarlet Violet. You cannot just evolve it in the game despite the items existing in the game. So, most likely we're going to be getting that. I think it has to be like Wave 1 of the DLC is where we're going to get that. I don't think they're going to enable that now, but I think they're going to enable it when the DLC first happens. We don't do Union Circles, unfortunately, Kay. We've tried doing it before, but the problem is, especially in Tag Tree Thicket, the game already struggles to do Tag Tree Thicket. Union Circles in Tag Tree Thicket basically cause the game to crash half the time. And it also makes the spawn area of all the Pokemon for shiny hunting almost, like, non-existent. It's not a very good thing. We've actually done Union Circle hunts before, but they have not ended well, and there's... I don't get why it is they made Union Circles and yet did not actually test to see if they worked correctly. It makes no sense. So there's one. I would have to disagree on that. Number 1 for me. Number 1 starter. Always gonna be Infernape. Always gonna be Infernape. Even though Infernape is no longer, like, the competitive heavyweight it used to be, I still love my Flamey Monkey. The funny thing is, it wasn't even the first starter I picked when I played Sinnoh. My first starter I picked when I played Sinnoh was Piplup. Second starter I picked when I played Sinnoh was Turtwig. The last starter I picked when I played Sinnoh was actually Chimchar. And that was, I think, maybe 6 years after first playing Sinnoh did I actually use a Chimchar for the first time. Yeah, really long time, and that thing just wowed me. Ah, favorite Pokemon. Interesting. And again, guys, if you haven't done so already, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more absolute nonsense. We got more nonsense planned. Actually, speaking of Diamond and Pearl and stuff like that, we got a video on the Battle Frontier coming out in a few weeks. Still have to finish recording and editing that. But yeah, there's a video talking about the Battle Frontier and whether or not the Battle Subway will be returning in the Black and White for Black and White 2 remakes. Because the battle facilities have this sort of very interesting history with the Pokemon community, in not quite the same way we have a complicated history with the move Scald, but the battle facilities in general are just a very odd thing when it comes to just the way in which the community interacts with them. Eating iced cream with grapefruit sounds delicious and healthy, Mark Van Duren. Very interesting. Meta, I cannot wait until the seal map. Expectations are under. I tend to keep my expectations for things non-existent. It's sort of a... I guess it's like a defense mechanism I've learned throughout the years of media. I will never build up something in my mind before it is released. I kind of go in with the expectation of what we are getting is all that we have seen so far, and nothing beyond that. Again, it's sort of like a defense mechanism, because if you overbuild something in your mind, the idea you build in your mind will always be better than what you're actually given. So you can kind of curb stomp your own enjoyment of something by, like, building it up too much in your mind beforehand. A lot of the time, this actually, the biggest example I've actually seen of this was a former friend of mine when they actually saw the 2014 Godzilla movie. They were more familiar with, like, the older classic Godzilla movies, where, you know, like, half the movie is just monster fights, because it was guys in, like, just in rubber suits just fighting each other, and thought that it was gonna be, you know, like, an hour of the entire movie was just gonna be, like, CGI monster fights. And then you got, you know, Walter White, you know, the man himself, Bryan Cranston, being, like, the one fighting Godzilla on, like, the human side of things. And then when the movie came out, and it was just absolutely none of that, Godzilla was in the movie for, like, I think 15 minutes at most, it made them, like, have this intense hate for the movie, because the idea of the movie in their mind was just so built up over months and months and months and months of just this, like, idealized thing. They kind of couldn't not necessarily deal with the reality, but kind of couldn't come to terms with that is the movie that we got. That the expectations were, like, way too out there. And it's one of the reasons why, like, I deliberately kneecap my own expectations of things. So I deliberately do not have that happen, because that can and very much will bring down any experience. Like, you know, going into things for the first time, expecting, like, I know people who expected that when you got the DLC for Sword and Shield, they thought Megas were coming back. And that one thing killed Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra for them. Was they thought Megas were coming back. Nothing suggested it, but they thought it was coming. And they just simply could not enjoy it. I probably shouldn't put it on the glass itself, because there's a lot of banging noise. But yeah, that's why we're doing a berry sandwich, so we don't get spawn interference from the Pawnyard. We get spawn interference of MEWTWO, but MEWTWO does not appear nearly as frequently as Pawnyard, so it's better to go. It is the lesser of two evils. I didn't know Knackley appeared here. Didn't know Knackley could appear there. That would have been helpful when doing my... Well, then again, no, this is not an ideal place to shiny hunt. I don't really recommend shiny hunting in Tag Tree Thicket. It's one of the slower areas of the game because of just how much stuff is going on here. You're generally better hunting elsewhere for things. It's just this is one of the only areas in the game you can actually... I think this might be one of the few areas of the game, if not the only area, you can actually find the GRIMMSNARL family. Which... you know, when you're shiny hunted for GRIMMSNARL, there's two options. There's Masuda, or there's sandwiches. I almost wonder if it would have been faster to Masuda hunt for a GRIMMSNARL, given the slow rate. But then again, we would go through maybe... What, we went through about 200 eggs per stream, if that. So about 2.5 streams to go to odds. Yeah, no. It would still be faster to sandwich hunt. It would still be significantly faster, all things considered. So yeah, no. This was the correct call. This is the correct play. What's up with Godzilla movie? Yeah, it's gonna be great. Godzilla -1 gonna be fantastic. Again, main thing with all new media, just very much it is like hope for the best, expect like not only expect the worst, but like hope for the best, but don't like convince yourself that like the idealized thing in your brain is going to be exactly what we get, because it's a very observable phenomenon that happens with media. The idea you build in your mind is always better than the idea you actually get, because the idea you build in your mind is uniquely tailored to what your, like, tastes and preferences are for, you know, something. And, you know, they gotta make things for, you know, not really mass appeal, but there's a lot of, like, niche things that may or may not, you know, appeal to general audience. Like, that's one of the reasons why, like, despite how much people love, like, XD Gala Darkness and Coliseum, those games really didn't sell all that well. I believe in total they sold, I believe, less than 4 million. So you add the sales numbers of XD Gala Darkness to the sales numbers of Coliseum, that was less than 4 million. Really did not sell that well. And it was why, despite like, a very, very loved, very niche thing, it didn't really have the mass appeal. Also, freaking heck. I guess I got scratched up more than I thought from those stupid branches. I was out in the yard taking down a lot of the branches because there was a tree branch that, well, not really a branch, like a significant number of tree limbs fell on the shed we have in the backyard. And we finally got a pair of garden loppers to start, you know, chopping through them. And they were dried out, and a lot of them were very like, thorny branches. And I got a few cuts all over my arms from, you know, the branches themselves. They whip around and scratch you up. Every 10 minutes, I'm finding a new scratch on me from one of them. This is why, when I have a house, I will have exclusively plastic trees and a rock garden. I don't like plants. I am not a fan of plants. I understand that they give us oxygen. I just don't like maintaining them. They are high maintenance. Can I wipe the tail now? Really? Cinderace is your favorite from Generation 8, Kayla? I did not expect that. Kinda makes sense. I think Megas and Z moves are the only gimmicks to coexist. Yep. They are the only gimmicks to exist at the same time within the actual games. Technically, in the anime, you had Z-moves, Megas, and Dynamaxing existing in the anime at all times. However, you could only use one at a time, and again, that's the anime. The same anime where Thunder Armor existed. So, take the anime with a very, very significant grain of salt. Can't really hang around, chat until I'm off the clock, but I'll have the opportunity to make fun of MEWTWO. I mean, I can see how you thought the thing was a Swablu. It vaguely does resemble a Swablu, so that made sense to call it a Swablu. I would have probably called it a Swablu myself, so you're not incorrect. I mean, you're not right in calling it a Swablu, but you're not incorrect for thinking it resembled a Swablu. True blue, little Swablu. Little bean Swablu. We've gotten so many of those shinies. Actually, I think we've only got like one extra spare one. Yeah, I think we only got one spare one, and that was actually a full odds one. Well, full odds for Shiny Charm. because we were Masuda hatching egg when we found that one. So that was a thing. It's difficult to tell when there's like 50 of them. Yeah, when there's that many of them, and I'm assuming the screen is not gigantic, it's easy to mistake them for being a Schwibbly. But again, they are small little clouds. Maybe the other gimmicks could allow one Pokemon to use both the same. Nope, they actually can't. The reason for this is Mega Rayquaza. Remember, Mudkip, Mega Rayquaza did not need to hold a Mega Stone to Mega Evolve. All it needed to do was have Dragon Ascent. And you could not Mega Evolve a Rayquaza and have it use a Z-move. You could also test this with with Ditto, because Ditto could hold a Z Crystal and then transform into a Mega Evolved Pokemon, and it would not be able to use a Z-move. Even if it had a Z-move crystal that corresponded to a typing of the move it transformed into on the Pokemon, it still couldn't use it. So it very much is the game actually would not allow it to happen. I believe ROMs of the game, like if you took a ROM of, say, Ultra Moon and, randomized it and you could find Mega Evolved Pokemon in the wild as is standalone separate from the Mega Stone, I believe you could program it to allow Megas to use Z-moves, but the actual games themselves will cut that off and not allow a Mega to use a Z-move. I believe it does the same with Primals. It's a very interesting thing that people didn't... Because you could very realistically have someone with a strategy of, oh, I can have, like, Primal Groudon, and then I can have a Ditto, give my Ditto a Z-move crystal, and then transform into Primal Groudon, and then use a Primal Groudon with a Z-move. They thought ahead. They realized that could potentially be a problem, and actually, like, nip that in the bud before it ever actually spiraled out, which is, considering Game Freak's forethought with certain things, I'm a little impressed on that. That they actually did something as clever as that. Now, granted, they also still allowed the Primals to exist, which points have to be taken away for that. It's difficult to tell when those are charges this one of these on ketamine. What the freak is ketamine? I've never heard that term, don't know what it is. Is it like sort of caffeine derivative? I think. Okay, almost sandwich expiration time. Almost sandwich expiration time. Don't press the robot or tranquilizer. What the freak? That's something. Not what I expected. But yeah, we're gonna have to do another sandwich of little Impadimp for shiny hunting. Yeah, it is weird though. It seems that Tag Tree Thicket is cursed when it comes to our shiny hunts. We've done a number of sandwiches here, and we have continuously not gotten shiny Impidimp. We've gotten one Impidimp shiny, but that is out of, I think, maybe 6 sandwiches in total. And I think this is like sandwich 7 in total, cumulatively, because I kind of had to keep running total track of them. Still probably not as over odds as some of our other shiny hunts, but it's definitely one of our longer hunts. But if they had, say, D-Max and Megas, but didn't let you D-Max a Mega, people would complain forever that they can't. I mean, Mudkip, you gotta remember, people will complain anyway. People are going to complain no matter what, so it's kind of neither here nor there. Impadimp. Yeah. Why do I keep getting pinged? What the freak keeps pinging me? Because there's nothing in my Discord pinging. Very weird. Very, 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 very weird. But Yeah, it's going pretty good. EBL prep is mostly finished. I've actually worked out my entire team for week 1 against the Doorman. And my biggest worry is Pidge. I think my hardest matchup I know my hardest matchup in the entire season is going to be Timmy. But the one that worries me only slightly less than Timmy is the Doorman. Wait, if Mega Pokemon loses a stone... Nope. They can't lose the stone. You cannot use knockoff on Megas. They will simply not lose the item. The same applies for type memories on Silvally, the plates on Arceus, the red and blue orbs on Groudon and Kyogre, and... there's one more. The Grizzlius orb on Palkia, and now the other form-changing items for Dialga, Palkia, Giratina. If an item causes a mid-battle transfer... If an item on a Pokemon causes an out-of-battle transformation in their form, they cannot lose that item. It's why you can't knock off the Rusted Shield or Rusted Sword from Zacian or Zamazenta. They simply will not allow that item to be removed. I don't think it gets increased damage from knockoff or thief, but yeah, they simply cannot lose those items. Yes, it will not lose the Mega Stone. Any item that allows any item that allows for a form change in the Pokemon cannot be removed. Even if it is an out-of-battle transformation or a mid-battle transformation, like with Mega Stones, they cannot lose it. Also, Z Crystals could not be knocked off. Well, Z Crystals could not be knocked off if they had a move that corresponded to the type. So if you had say like a Medicham that had Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Psycho Cut, and Drain Punch, but you gave it Ghostium Z, you could knock off Ghostium Z. But if you gave it, like, Electrium Z, you could not knock off the Electrium Z because it has a move that corresponds to the Z Crystal. The items that are and are not affected by knockoff are very weird. There's so many different, like, little caveats that you could literally spend hours and still not know all of the little caveats. Again, it's one of the reasons why they need to have a thing in a Pokemon game that explains things more comprehensively, because there are so many little things in Pokemon that just will never really be realized by most people because there's no reason to ever encounter it. Like, there are still people who I have known who have played competitive for years, like over probably a decade and a half at this point, that the entire time did not realize if you are in a double battle and you have a Pokemon with Lightning Rod next to you and you use a move like Thunderbolt, you will have your own Thunderbolt drawn to your ally's Lightning Rod. Because it's such a remote thing, it never comes up. Heaven's Scorching Light of Destruction. That's not the move. It's light that burns the sky, Mudkip. Unless that's the Japanese name, which the Japanese names of Z-moves are... I don't know. Some of the Japanese Z-move names are better than the English versions, but some of the English versions are, I would say, a lot better than the Japanese versions. It's the same way with a lot of Dynamax moves. Some of the Japanese ones are, like, just much better, but others are just, like, kind of lame. What's... The lame one is... What was it? It was... Yeah, I think like the grass one, Max Overgrow, the Japanese name is like like Max Grassland or Grassfield or something like that. Yeah, that's the Japanese name. Yeah, the Japanese names generally are better. Like, Yeah, and certain ones, not as good. But then you got, you know, G-Max Wildfire is a Japanese name, G-Max Hellfire. That's awesome. Like, that's just a more awesome name than G-Max Wildfire. So there's some hits and there's some misses, but it's not like there's an in-between. They're either a lot better or a lot worse. No idea what that means much yet. You need the English. I request English. I request English. But yeah, like, that's kind of my favorite thing about looking at the Japanese and English versions of names, is sometimes they're better, sometimes they're worse. See. Both of those are pretty good. I think Let's Snuggle Forever is probably better, but that one's just, like, silly. That's actually very silly. And then there's some that are just identical. Like, I think Black Hole Eclipse is the same in both languages. I think. There's a few Z moves that are identical in the Japanese and the English version. But others are just, like, clearly one is clearly better than the other. I come back to the first. Yeah, that's Mimikyu Z move. With Mimikium Z. Yeah, the Japanese name of it is Bip Bop Friend Time, which is, again, like, that's a silly name. There are part of X and Y was Mr. Bonding said, it's bonding time, and that proceeded to bond all over the place. Kinky! Kinky. Alright. No shinies on the first sandwich. Let's move over to sandwich number 2. The Ice Z move is... That I think is better than Sub-Zero Slammer. Like, Sub-Zero Slammer sounds cool, but Raging Geofreeze. That's a power move right there. That is a power move name. So again, there's some that are great, some that are not great. I know that the Max Airstream's Japanese name is like Max Jet. And I think like Max Strike is just like Max Attack or something. Like they're very lame. You get like a Sub-Zero Slammer. It sounds you're not wrong. That does sound like an ice theme. That sounds like an ice skating. That sounds like what you get if you mix hockey and not basketball. It sounds like you get that with, like, you mix hockey and baseball. That is what Sub-Zero Slammer is. I can see that. That's a vibe right there. Raging Geofreeze is just awesome. I think Continental Crush is the same in both Japanese and English. I could be wrong on that, though. 3 servings of tomato, 1 serving of onion, and 1 thing of bell pepper. I could be wrong, but I think it's the same. I don't remember all of them. Also, one of my favorite things in Twinkle Tackle is Lovely Star Impact. I think that one's better than Twinkle Tackle. Because Twinkle Tackle, like, it doesn't really work when you consider most fairy moves are not physical. Almost every fairy move is actually a special attack. So Twinkle Tackle doesn't really make sense. But Lovely Star Impact, that just sounds better. Much better. Look at the unique Z move names, like Splintered Storm Shards, Pulverizing Pancake, Genesis Supernova, I think is Mew's Z move. Hello there, Rave. How are you doing? How is Mr. Rave doing? The Rave is in the house. That would be a very different kind of move. That would be what Ganondorf's Z move would be. Hello. Like, how the hell does Gloom have to do this? Well, technically, there is a grass-type Pokemon named Gloom, so there is something to do with Gloom and grass. So that does exist much. Yep. I'm doing okay, Rave. Doing okay. Just shiny hunting for the shoebox, known as GRIMMSNARL. Well, Impidimp, which... Wait. Oh no, I thought that was a shiny one for a second, but it was just the tree making the eyes look different. But yeah, GRIMMSNARL, pretty much one of your best counters to Mewtwo in the upcoming Terra raids. Would highly recommend getting a GRIMMSNARL prepared for the Mewtwo raid. Searing, Sunray Smasher, just Sunshine Smasher. Again, that's what I mean when I say some of the English names are better than the Japanese names. Again, like Searing, Sunrays, Smash. That's just metal. That's metal as all get out. But Sunshine Smasher, nah. Sounds too proper, too British. Thank you very much, Rave. We do indeed look forward to some good luck with the hunt. We've been hunting the full GRIMMSNARL family for a while, on and off. But now it's like, okay, I want to knuckle down and really hunt this thing dedicated. Because I want to get GRIMMSNARL shiny. I'm hoping to get a marked shiny for the GRIMMSNARL family. Because, again, GRIMMSNARL one of the best Pokemon competitively. And just having a marked shiny is always lovely. Another that is not good. I recommend staying inside, having a drink of water, and always keeping ice on hand. That's so nice. Sultan 7-star strike is 7-star soul sealing kick. What? Why kick? What does... Why kick? I have many questions. I'm pretty sure its whole thing is like punch moves. Why kick for the boxing ghost? I am the box ghost, beware. That's a reference right there. That is a reference. 10 points to whichever house gets that reference. Without having to look it up. Like, see, I can see all of you already going to Google to look for it. Hello, Bryce. How are you doing? So, Bryce, I'm fairly certain I know what starter of Sinnoh you're gonna pick. When we get Kitakami out in a few weeks. I'm fairly certain I know which one you're going for. The Touch-Out Ghost doesn't skip a leg day. Okay, but its whole thing is punching. All of the moves that it learns, more or less, are punch moves. Why is its unique Z move a kick? That doesn't make sense. Pulverizing Pancake. Yeah, Pulverizing Pancake I knew was really bad. What is the name of Pulverizing Pancake again? I need Go All Out Attack. Oh my god, it's so bad. Again, some of the English Z move names, they're kind of lame by comparison, and then there's others that are just a lot better. I think it was the unique Z moves that were far better in English than in Japanese. In general, I know some of them are still better than the English version, a few of them, but I think it's generally the unique ones are not as good. Because the Japanese names for a lot of the moves are just like, the move is exactly what it says on the tin. Like, GRIMMSNARL's G-Max Snooze was like G-Max Sleepiness, or G-Max Sleep. Which, honestly, the name G-Max Snooze, okay, I can vibe with that. But G-Max Sleepiness. Lame. Sister Arrow Raid becomes Shadow Arrow Strike. Both of those are pretty good. I think Shadow Arrow Strike, Shadow Arrow's Strike is probably a bit better of a name. then, like, I don't know, when you use the move Sinister in something, that kind of makes me take it less seriously, because you have to specifically put, it's Sinister. Like, Mr. Sinister of the X-Men. Okay, I'm not taking it seriously, because you have to specifically try so hard with using the word Sinister. But, like, Shadow Arrows Strike. That's a vibe right there. That is a vibe. Is Sea God? See, that's a pretty good one. Sea God Symphonia. That's a good name. That's a good one. Again, some names better than others. What is the EBL? When is the EBL? In about 2 weeks. The first match, the week of the first match is the 27th through, I believe it is the 2nd of September. So we are going to be starting it relatively soon. So, it's within the next 2 weeks is the EBL. Which reminds me, I still need to schedule the preseason interview to be put up with Pidge. Because Pidge is the person I did my preseason interview with, and I still need to work on getting that video out. Malicious Moves, Hyper Dark Mushroom. Both of those are pretty good. Hello there, Time Mister. How are you doing? Mr. Sinister, the expert, talked about me. No, Mr. Sinister, the guy from the X-Men movies. Well, the X-Men comics. That is the Mr. Sinister we are talking about. Come on, Impidimp. Why is Impidimp not wanting to shiny up here? It's like Aracuda. It just refuses to exist. I thought you were talking about me. No, I actually don't even remember. I honestly am bad with names. I just remember your name as being, like, Crimson, and then something about, like, Zygarde at some point. Because remember, my memory is terrible. My memory is garbage. It is absolute hot trash. I don't know if I've mentioned it before that I have a bad memory. I can't remember. Yeah, I got plans. I've got a goal this season. This season, pretty much my goals are the same. Go positive record. And have a much more concrete win over Timmy this season. Because my win last season over Timmy, that was luck. I lucked out big time with Togekiss landing that critical hit on Shadow Ball. So I needed that crit there. So this time I want to make absolutely certain I win. I've got a plan for him, though. I do very much have a plan when it comes to Timmy. So that's going to be good. That is very going to be good. Nope, you're not shiny. You are not shiny. Makes me feeling better. My memory is about as good as something shiny. Was that before? So that's not really memory, Jared. That's more of just ADD, which I also have. I'm very easily distracted by sparkly things. It's why Pikmin is perfect for me. It is an entire game about being rewarded for being distracted by the shiny. Like, literally, you are collecting a Sparklium in that game. So, distracted by the shiny is literally the point of it. And if not, Dandori issue. Dandori issue. Oh, I'm loving that game. That is a very, very entertaining game. I actually just did my first recording session where I did the Glow Pikmin Nighttime Expedition. The Glow Pikmin, I'm fairly certain I know what they're referencing with it. Which, if that is the case, I'm a little disappointed with that, because I was hoping to see those things in the actual game. I get why they don't have them, but I was hopeful. Opium. That is potato brain. Exactly, Kayla. My brain is a sieve. My brain just, stuff goes in and just runs through like water. There is no retention capacity. Yeah. If I had a glow Pikmin for every blue Pikmin you killed. What? Why do you hurt the blue Pikmin, Mudkip? I mean, I know I'm one to talk, considering what just happened in the third most recent recording session, but granted, that was entirely due to unforeseen events of the forehead known as the Armored Cannon Beetle. Well, Arctic Cannon Beetle. Actually, no, I think it was Arctic Cannon Beetle. EBL. Depends on how long you win. The regular season is 5 weeks. Then the... I guess, like, not really post-season, but, like, the second half of the season, which is playoffs, is, I believe, also 5 weeks, but depends on how far you get, whether you actually play all 5 weeks, or, if you lose during playoffs, you're out. So, the way that it works is, depending on how well you do in the preseason, your ranking will then determine how you get placed for the playoffs. So, if you do very well, you get the first week of playoffs off, which the first week of playoffs is the play-in match, which is where the, I believe it is, 4 lowest scoring people of the allowed-in group. So basically, whoever is in 4th and 3rd place, I believe, or maybe it is 4th and 5th place, for both divisions have to play each other. The winner of that goes on to playoffs. So it's basically 2 weeks off for the people who actually get 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. The other guys are fighting the entire time, and then if the guys who move on, it's a bit hard and complicated to explain, but it makes sense. But basically, it's about 10 weeks at most. But you're not fighting every 10 weeks, every week. Which one are you in? Oh, but I am in the Mega Division. There's 2 divisions, the Mega Division and the Dynamax Division. That's how they have organized it. I am in the Mega Division with Pokepidge, with Pokepidge, the Doorman, is it MEWTWO? No, Mike the Quick, and Game R Views, I believe, is my schedule. Let me just go check my exact thing. He is in the other division. He's in the Dynamax division. Dynamax Conference. Sorry, that's the actual term. Yeah, I'm in the Mega Conference. I am, again, yeah, my conference is, Newt Box. Yeah. Newt Box and Newt? No, is it Newt? You know, yeah, it's, Newt Box, Doorman, Pokepidge, and Game R Views is my division. And then I'm facing one person of the Dynamax Conference, which I'm facing Timmy B of the Dynamax Conference, which I would rather face Timmy than Sly. I will be fully honest. The main reason of that is I want my win against Sly to be impactful. I don't want to beat Sly and have us basically already moving on into the playoffs anyway, so winning essentially is meaningless there. But I want a great matchup with Timmy, because Timmy is just fantastic. I love going against him. Menu set from August 27th. That is week 1. That's week 1. Week 2 is the 3rd to the 3rd to the 9th. I believe 3rd to the 9th. Yeah, the first week is the 27th of August through the 2nd of September, where I believe the videos will go up on the 2nd of September, and the earliest you can battle is the 27th. So anywhere between that and before the video has to be uploaded, you are able to battle. Which is, again, one of the reasons I'm kind of glad I'm not going to Pittsburgh Regionals, because that would kind of interfere with that. Among many other stuff, like Pizza Tower, and I would love to do that. Also, saw with a bunch of games with blue and black, like... do that spaghetti thing. That's fun. Yeah, I like the spaghetti thing, and then he just, like, flings it back. Great. Hamon is very useful. That's one of my favorite things about Part 2, and then they carry that over into Part 3, where, yeah, Joseph's biggest issue is not lack of talent. It's no refinement. He's basically beating stuff with a sledgehammer when he doesn't know how to apply things correctly. Really? Nice, what was your first full odds Johnny Mo? Oh, so you are in the EBL, my brain is... Yes, I am in the EBL. I am one of the battlers in the Elite Battle League. I am one of the people in the league. There's 10 people in the league right now. We had 2 people who had to drop out, so normally we would have had 12, but 2 people had to drop out. Which made major overhauls to the schedule. And I will say, I am kind of glad the schedule needed to be overhauled, because now I'm not facing Pidge Week 2. Not Week 2, not facing Pidge Week 1. Because again, Pidge scares me. I would at the very least am thankful I have 1 week of being able to view his battle footage before that, so I can like study. I can study the Pidge. This Brigatito uses its secret Joestar technique. Run away! That is one of my favorite moments of the entirety of Battle Tendency. It's such a usable meme. The best part is that that's actually something that they say in Pikmin 4 is a valid tactic, is running away. And I am very tempted when I get to that part of the recording editing to insert that. You've already asked, David. Yes, we are going to be streaming the TL Mask. You've asked many, many times. You've asked many, many times. Yeah, I'm probably not going to make a whole new team for it. Like, I get why people want to build a whole brand new team for it, but like, I don't think to build a brand new team for it. It's gonna be interesting, though. It's gonna be very interesting to see what we get with it. So I'm wondering how long into the Teal Mask like story is gonna be before you actually can get the legendaries. So that's gonna be interesting. Shiny Sprigatito is just... Shiny female Sprigatito just does not exist for Slime and Boom Guy. Again, it's gonna be hilarious if the shiny I get when I hatch the egg is going to be the female one. That would be freaking hilarious. Like, I know Sly would be coming for my head if that happens. I would probably say, hey Sly, I'll trade you this if you throw our match in the EBL. Just to mess with them, it's like, because I know him and Midnight are both tired of that hunt. Like, both him and Midnight just want that hunt to end. Shelder. Shelder. I like Shelder. Well, I mean, more so I like Cloyster. Cloyster is one of the few Pokemon that I like exclusively because of the battling. I do not... actually, well, less of the... I can't like exclusively because of the battling, and more so I don't really care too much about it then. Hello there, Mo. Glad you're doing well, Joe. Glad you're doing well. It is being a shoe. How many DAs have you done for Entei, Kayla? How many DAs have you done for Shoe Lion? Because yes, Entei is a lion. It's not a dog. It is a lion. I think if you're allergic to water, that would have been something beforehand that may have come up, because that is not good. You might want to see a doctor about that. It is indeed a lion. All the legendary beasts are based on cats. The actual designer of the beasts has gone on record saying they are all designed after cats, and I actually have a screenshot. I forget whether it's on my recording PC or my general use laptop where that screenshot is saved. And I specifically remember the name of the file is Cats Not Dogs. Because I would refer to that picture so many times when talking to people. It was easier for me to go find the file and just save it to my PC than it was to keep refinding it every time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said on Twitter that it is a cat. They are all based on cats. They are not based on dogs. But it's just... Because the weird thing is, Suicune's a leopard. And Raikou a saber-toothed tiger. So, but them still being called dogs doesn't make a lot of sense when we know at the very least 2 of them are based on cats. So Raging Bolt is a long neck. No, all of the beast paradoxes seem to be based on dinosaurs. As well as we actually have a video about whether Paradox Pokemon were actually real or not. Because there is significant evidence that Paradox Pokemon did not actually exist. And that they are not actually real Pokemon. Or at least, like, they do not exist in the way we think they do. There's gonna be a whole big video on that coming. Along with a video on the Battle Frontier, on a video on Cynthia, and just champions in general, and a couple of other, like, long-form projects, because I pretty much have the next 2 months of recording done at present, and with the EBL ongoing, which, well, when the EBL gets going, that will, again, additionally give me a little bit of a more buffer zone time. I don't really need to record too much Let's Play content, or at least not need to record as much Let's Play content as I usually do, so I can kind of take it easy and focus on some more long-form projects, which there's a lot of long-form projects I've really been wanting to work on, but I haven't really had the time to sort of, you know, crank out those things, because those long-form videos take a long time to make. An individual one can take upwards of like 5-6 hours to make a single one, and those are the relatively more tame ones. Like the Metroid Dread editing video, which that's going to be again its own separate thing. That took me about 3 hours to edit itself, and that was only about like 30 minutes, if that. So stuff like the gym leader fixing videos, where right now we're working on fixing the Generation 5 gym leaders teams. That on its own is going to take probably upwards of 10 hours for a single video. And that's like on the light side of time it takes. Look at it. I have no favorite of them so far. We don't know anything about them. Again, David, we've been over this a lot. I don't really form opinions on the new stuff until we see what they got. Like, it's unreleased stuff. We don't really have any info on them. Mudkip, Rosie is starting to infiltrate your brain. Rosie has started to kill off your brain cells. Do not allow Rosie to contaminate your brain cells. And again, guys, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be delightful. Everything is gonna be pretty fun. I look forward to yet. I am wondering what the special Terrastall form of Ogerpon is going to be, though. Because we don't know how it's going to impact. We know we're pretty sure Ogerpon's going to be a grass type. I'm thinking possibly Grass Fairy, but maybe Grass Dark. But yeah, that's going to be a bit weird to kind of see what the Terrastal form is. Because I don't think they're going to do the Terrastal forms, give them a boost to their 2 stabs. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the Sinisty thing is real. Leaks in general have not... Leaks as of late have not been correct. So I'm... healthy skepticism. Like, the leaks about Raging Bolt and Iron Crown, those did not exist. And the Mewtwo thing, that was not actually a leak. That was actually a data mine. Those are very different. Data mine has proof behind it, because it's stuff that exists within the game proper, whereas leaks are like, I heard a rumor from my uncle that works at Game Freak, which generally is kind of generally made up stuff. So. I don't think the Sinisty thing is that. Yeah, a lot of, I mean, again, the biggest one is, just remember, if you ever start trusting leaks, just remember the Mystery Dungeon Sky Leaks. The secret link that was on Pokemon's website that linked to Chunsoft, which confirmed there was gonna be a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Sky remake on Switch. Just remember that. That was an actual leak. Yes, I did doubt the Mewtwo thing, because that's not really how Pokemon normally interact with the game. The Mew gaining additional HP was the weird thing, because Pokemon gaining additional HP mid-battle is not like how the games are programmed to operate. No, that was not Shiny Bellibolt. That was not Shiny Bellibolt. That was probably a Weasel. Weasel. Or maybe it was like a Tadpole or something like that. Actually, no, probably was actually the Mimikyu, all things considered. Because, like, that Bellibolt, that is a static Bellibolt. That will not change whether we leave the area and come back. That is set when you first, I believe, enter the area for the first time that day. You would need to back away from it, turn the game off, change the date, and then go back, and then save outside the range of its spawning again. You know, it would not be shiny, because the static encounters in this game are very weird. They are very, very odd with the way that they are programmed. Yeah, this Bellibolt will always be the same whenever we pass it. It will always have the same nature, same like IVs, same EVs. It will always be the same. For like today, it will respawn tomorrow. I believe it will respawn tomorrow. I think tomorrow is when the timetable changes. I think it's daily. I did still doubt the data mine, Jared. I did doubt it. Until I saw that Mewtwo thing, I was still thinking that data mine was not correct. Also, until then, I didn't know that that was a data mine. I thought that that was a leak. So, yeah, there was... I mean, again, my suspicion of the thing mostly came back to Mega's confirmed for returning in BDSP. Mega's confirmed returning for Legends. Let's Go to Johto. And then the Mystery Dungeon Sky thing. There's been a number of things about leaks that make me skeptical. There's a number of things about leaks that we need to be a little bit skeptical of. So there is that. My policy is it's better to be wrong and it's better to make a statement and be proven wrong than it is to... It's better to be proven wrong in thinking something is not true than it is in believing something is correct and then having that be disproven. I mean, I'm probably not wearing that right, but hey, Game Shark! How are you doing, Ark? One of the mods go grab Game Shark's link. How are you doing? Thank you very much for the $5. On the other hand, I hear leaks are great with Fetched. That is a top tier joke, Jared. That is a top tier joke right there. How was Kaizo Ironmon treating you lately? How did Kaizamon Iron Pokemon go? When this whole shiny hunting thing either starts declining or we get the shiny living dex finished, I think we're probably going to go back to some Kaizo Ironmon stuff, so that's going to be fun. Something to look forward to. But how you doing, Game Shark Arc? How are you doing? Yeah, I don't really think about going back to some Kaizo stuff. Because I feel like if I go back to Kaizo stuff, I'm going to need to, like, do every stream would be Kaizo, and then kind of not really, like, abandon shiny hunting, but do shiny hunting on my own time off-screen. So, it's kind of in this weird state where, like, it's like, in flux. Because I have been noticing shiny hunting is not, like, pulling in people in the same way that it used to, which there's a number of factors for that. So probably going back to Kaizo Ironmon would be a play. Hope is go all doing well. Got Fam and Kaizo Red. Kaizo Red? Not sure I follow. Got all the time from I'm not sure I follow. You gotta remember my Fire Red. Yeah, Fire Red I think was the one that I was doing. I am honestly thinking of maybe doing like Emerald for Kaizo. Or because I want to do a Generation 3 Kaizo because then you have the badge boost helping you out and like giving you a little bit of a benefit. I was thinking also could probably like Kaizo Platinum. But I don't know, still up in the air. There is a flux with that. I feel like Emerald Kaizo is probably the most favorable game for Kaizo, because you have the wild Pokemon force battle before you have to fight your rival, so you can go into the rival battle with a little bit of a level edge over the other games. But it is going to come down to, like, I need to figure out what the game would be for that. Fire Red is best starting point and fast rising user. Interesting. Really? Interesting. Any reason why you think Fire Red is faster? Best patches 2. Oh, so there's more stuff that's been patched in Fire Red than it has been for, like, Emerald and the other games? Interesting. But yeah, I think once we do, if we beat Fire Red, then we're probably going to go on, like, Hard Gold Soul's Over, probably. Yeah, you probably didn't see the shiny Belly Ball. It was probably just like a Weasel or something. Oh, Sandwich actually literally just ran out. Nope, let's do the immediate area checking. No shinies. No shinies whatsoever. Your rival off the rip and patches really do a lot to speed up the process. I need to figure out that way of having it so you can load the next Kaizo file instantly, because that's the one thing I don't know how to do. I need to figure out how to do that. Are you on the Discord, Game Shark? Probably, if I could probably figure out something like that at some point. Game Shark Quark. I love that name. That's a great, fantastic name of Sharpedo. Yeah, we got some projects for the next... Because, yeah, a lot of my recording for stuff like going forward is generally fairly simple. Like, a lot of my... I don't need to, like, do a lot of, like, major Let's Play recording and editing going forward for a while. So, I actually am more free to probably start with some project. Because one thing I'm working on right now is... One thing I'm working on presently is a lot of discussion-based videos. Oh yeah, Timmy's... Actually, one of the discussion video topics is actually the Battle Frontier, and Timmy's kind of messaging me about the Battle Frontier right now. That's why I am thankful I have over 1k BP from competitive. Getting your shiny... Bring your shiny hunting patience to fire and Kaizo. Oh, trust me, Sharkar. I'm not patient. I'm persistent. There's a very big difference between them. Patience is one thing, persistence is an entirely different thing. Alright, let's check the items. Curry powder, PP-ups. How many PP-ups do I have? Because, like, PP-ups are one of the best items in the game. Okay, I'm fine on that. You get PP-ups from the MEWTWO companion raids, so I think I'm fine with that. I do a lot of competitive. I love how I say I do a lot of competitive when the regional I was planning on going to, those travel plans had to be canceled. But I'm a big fan. Hello there, Danger Balloon. That is an amazing name right there. That is a top tier name right there. But yeah, I'll indeed be probably doing a Kaizo thing. I have a feeling, though, when it comes to Kaizo, I'm probably going to always keep Gyarados as one of my favorites for that game. Because I will die on the hill of I think Gyarados is one of the best typings for Kaizo. Thank you, bro. How are you doing? Meta Slide Boom guy. No. He is never going to get a shiny female Sprigatito. Like, he's on what, I think like 12? He's got his 12th shiny male phase for that, Sprigatito. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the day he does eventually get his shiny female Sprigatito. In the same way I was with when it came to me getting the shiny Ho-Oh, where it's just this long hunt is now over. Need to have Gary with the Volt Absorb or Hard Run with the 4F. Yeah, this is one of the things about Pokemon that I've kind of learned throughout the competitive, is that a lot of the best Pokemon, and I know that Kaizo has the different stat lines, but a lot of the best Pokemon for things generally do have double weaknesses. You know, like, most of the pseudo-legendary dragons, they have Yellow Quad weakness, and they're still some of the best there are. And Gyarados, utterly fantastic Pokemon. Crippling Quad weakness, but it's still, like, it hangs in there. A lot of really good Pokemon, actually, like, I would say generally among the best Pokemon, double weaknesses are far more common among the average Pokemon. It's very weird. I guess like higher base stat Pokemon tend to have a double weakness. But yeah, like Gyarados with Volt Absorb would be the dream. Just like the Flash Fire Scythe, Flash Fire Scizor, that's the dream. That is the absolute dream right there. Yeah, we have the shiny charm. We're on, I think, Sandwich 10. Not Sandwich 8 for Impidimp shiny hunting. We need 3 shiny Impidimp. We've gotten 1 so far. Yeah, Flash Fire Scizor. Like, Flash Fire Scizor. Spice. Levitate Ampharos. Levitate any electric type is also the dream. That's why Electros is one of my favorite Pokemon. It's just... I love Electros. It's not my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon, but it is very solidly, like, within, like, the top 4. And I love my Unova Pokemon. Unova is... Pokemon for Pokemon, Unova is probably my favorite region. I actually had an idea for a video a while back, sort of like a video actually series with a bunch of other creators, where it is having them go through and sort of rating every Pokemon from every region. So like, oh, you know, Scyther, yeah, that's a, you know, 10 out of 10 Pokemon. Jinx, that's like a 2 out of 10 Pokemon right there. And then going through, and then sort of totaling up and averaging out what is the average score of a Pokemon in this region, and seeing what region do you think is your favorite, and then comparing that to what region is on average actually your favorite. It's a bit of a weird out there idea, but I'd like to know your thoughts on something like that. Like, would any of the creators in the chat listening to Peanut Gallery of Powers, I like calling it, would anyone like be interested in like that kind of an idea? Because I've thought about doing that. I've never put in the time to do it. Because again, it's a bit of an abstract out there concept, and it would very much eat up a lot of time to go do. Because going through every single Pokemon of every single region is pretty massive. What do you think is the worst Gen starter for me is? Gen 5 Plus is good. You mean like what the worst starter for Generation 5? Or like worst starter of all the starters? Because if it's worst starter of all starters, I would say probably Meganium is that. Mostly because Johto is not very friendly to grass types, and Meganium does have one of the worst stat lines for any starter. Yeah, it's very not well suited to Johto. It is very not well suited to Johto. That's kind of the one unfortunate thing about Pokemon games, is certain starters are, like, either absolutely shafted or absolutely god tier when it comes to certain games. Because early on, they either have so many good gym matchups, or they just don't have good ones. Like, Charmander really struggles in Kanto, because your first two gyms, Rock and Water, like, Charmander has nothing to deal with those. And, then you get, Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur absolutely eats those first two gyms. Lieutenant Surge can do barely anything to it. What if Ditto was a ball? I would kick the ball. I mean, I have to deal with Ditto season, week 2 of the EVL, so I am already dreading. I dread not Eevee, I dread Ditto. Because Ditto in a Dynamax format is incredibly scary. Because whenever Ditto uses Imposter to transform into something, it will copy stat boosts. So if you have a Dragonite that's like 6 Dragon Dances under its belt, okay, Ditto comes in, Ditto copies all 6 of those Dragon Dance boosts. And then it unleashes Armageddon on your face. It is a terrifying Pokemon to deal with. It's why I believe Ditto's best season of play, just competitively, was Gen 6 and Gen 7, when it could turn into a Mega. And you could functionally have either 2 Megas or 3 restricted legendaries. Like, Ditto is terrifying. Hello there, Goringo! How are you doing? Hope you are doing delightful. I am doing wonderful. I am doing delightful. And again, guys, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more if you haven't done so already. Yeah, I think that maybe earlier streaming might be the call, rather than the streaming later at night, because normally this is about when we cap out for a late night stream, and I'm feeling good to go for a couple more sandwiches. So I'm thinking the new play is midday streaming, and sort of get away from the nighttime. And I find it funny that I just keep flip-flopping when I'm streaming at what times, but yeah, we are going to be doing... I need to hammer out a new schedule. I need to very much start hammering out a more actual schedule. Une shorts war with the other creators to probably make this pretty interesting. Interesting. I also think I need to find a better time slot to actually have my video shorts go up, because I think I need to adjust the timings on that a little bit. That's a little, just a tiny little bit. Yeah, it is a bit interesting that, like, shorts are kind of like the one major thing for the channel right now. They're kind of like the big help for the channel, like bringing in new people. Like, channels... I feel like YouTube had to have bonked up the algorithm somehow. What time did you start the we started the Shiny Hunt at 4 p.m. my time. I think we're probably going to start a little bit earlier than that going into future days Shiny hunting. Because normally we stream at either 8:30 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. At night. So I'm thinking from now on we're going to be changing that around and doing it like consistently earlier in the day. But time will tell. It's going to be a bit of a variable yield upload schedule. Kind of see where the stuff takes us. There's no consistency going forward. It's all planning. There's significant amount. Oh, good luck getting ready. Thank you. Yeah, we need good luck with the shiny hunt for Impidimp. We've gone over odds on this thing a while ago. Well, we've been over odds for a while, but we have gone very clearly over odds, because this, I think this is either sandwich 9 or 10 in total for the Impidimp family, and for this shiny Impidimp, it is at the bare minimum sandwich 4. So we are, at the very least, 3 times over odds. Which is not good for our hero. It is not good for our hero. But we will persist. And we will persist and fight. And shiny hunt. And get that blue little sparkly demon thing. I do really love Impidimp and the GRIMMSNARL family shinies. I mean, even just like them as Pokemon in general, I really like them. They took a while to grow on me. It was like, no, I like them. I can vibe with this. I can vibe. Well, then go shiny. Right, like it. See, that's the thing about me. I don't really... Shiny colors don't really have like the same draw for me that I know most people have. For me, it's, does the color scheme of the shiny work? Less of, how does the change work? You know, like, that's why I do legitimately really like Zapdos' shiny. I think the gold color just works very well on it. It might not change a whole lot, but it still looks visually pleasing. Same thing, kind of, with the shiny Gengar. I don't think like it's a bad shiny. It's not like a color that makes me physically uncomfortable to look at. Like your pale yellow, which that does make me uncomfortable to look at, your very pale yellow shinies. So it's I have a very different view on shinies than I know most people do, which, again, as a shiny hunter, is incredibly weird. I'm an anomaly. I fully own up to my own anomalous status. I am very much an anomaly. Anamamola? Anamamola. Not an alomamola, but an anamamola. Where is the shiny Impidimp? Also, the reason why we're doing the picnic dropping every few minutes is just to reset all the spawns in the area around us. And again, guys, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Alright, where is Impidimp going to be? Yes, it's 5. So we got maybe this is gonna probably be our final sandwich. We got one of the why I'm thinking about maybe streaming a little bit earlier because you have dinner and probably. I'm not gonna be able to finish. Well, then again, we could power through like after dinner, continue shiny hunting. So I guess that's the play. I guess that could be the play. Again, it's figuring out the streaming schedule with the Totodile is I can be this for factual statement. Factual statement. We love the cocoa bean. The cocoa is best little bean. The cocoa is good bean. I'm probably actually starting at maybe 4, 3:30. Would that be a good time to start? I need to figure out a better streaming schedule. That's again, there's figuring out future hunt plan things. What's from this gift? Which GRIMMSNARL mystery gift? Because I think I did, but I don't remember if there was like I got the one a while ago. If there's a new one, I did not get that one. But I don't use like I don't count event. I don't giveaway ones from like the world champion ones. Those I do not count toward the living shiny decks. So if I do have it, it is not counted towards the living shiny decks. When it comes to like legendary giveaways like the Zacian Zamazenta, those I will count for it because those were like those you can't hunt those things. Yeah. Yeah, like I will generally collect event Pokemon. Like I've gotten my Mew, but I'm probably never gonna be using my Mew. My Mew, of course, Mew is shiny locked. So Mew kind of doesn't really apply to the living shiny decks because you cannot shiny hunt it unless you have like the old games, the virtual console games, where you need to use a glitch in order to get it. And I do not use glitches. I'm not the most comfortable when it comes to using. Like I can appreciate a glitch. But as for using glitches myself, I do get a bit uncomfortable using them. Because it feels like it's not quite external game manipulation, but it kind of skirts that line of game manipulation in a way that, as someone who's very like, anti-genning, anti-hacking, it kind of blurs the line between those two things. Which I give a little bit of distance from. Like, glitches, I can, like, appreciate when someone does them, and I can watch, like, people perform, like, very funny glitches, but as performing them myself, I will probably never perform glitches. Because it's, sort of a policy, I guess. It's a bit of a hard thing to explain. I honestly don't know. I'm probably going to go back to making multiple different battle teams for Battle Sundays. But that is a ways out. I'm not sure when Battle Sundays are going to be coming back. They will be coming back, I just don't know how long until they come back, so it's up in the air what is going to happen with them, so yeah, that's kind of the state of the Battle Sundays. Pokemon add the Beast Ball, but there's no Beast Ball in the game. Not yet. They're going to be adding in the Ultra Beasts. They're going to be adding in the Ultra Beasts. Yeah, it's like some of the Pokeballs, they actually are there just for cosmetic things. Like the Sport Ball and the Safari Ball, they don't have their boosted effects, so they don't really have like any special things. They're there just for cosmetic, which is cool, but it is just purely cosmetic. Very likely going to be adding in the Ultra Beasts, because it's what they did with them in Dynamax Adventures. It's what they've been doing every generation, where they make it so you can get the older game like legendaries and like other side stuff through a new in-game method. You know, again, Dynamax Adventures let you get the Ultra Beasts, and you got, you know, in Orash, you have the Hoopa portals where you could get the. There we go. There's the little demon thingy. Yes. Oh, it is delightful. Oh, that is a delightful little shiny. Don't forget to leave a like in the chat. Delightful little shiny thing. Delightful little shiny thing. Overod's hunt is now done for this one. I mean, you gotta get one more Impidimp. One more Impidimp needs to be collected. Impidimp banana to the party. Let's go. Many thanks. I'm Kayla. This is Sandwich at the very least 4. I'm not spoon-fed. I am definitively not spoon-fed with this fracas. Dang it, it's not marked. I really hope the next one, the final one, is going to be marked. Because I would freaking love a marked shiny Impidimp, well, a marked shiny Grimmsnarl. That would just be peak. Look, I can get marked Palafin, which I'm not going to be using, but I can't get marked Grimmsnarl. And I am not going to deliberately hunt for a shiny marked one if I don't get one, because I might like marks, but I don't want to go deliberately hunt for a marked shiny. That is not the vibe. I would be more than happy to just have a ribbon on it. But I can always just go and give it the Paldea, not the Paldea, the Galar ribbon. Galar and Paldea. But then again, I don't know if it will even keep the Paldea ribbon if you bring it back into Sword and Shield. Because you can actually bring something from this game back into Sword and Shield as long as it existed back in Sword and Shield. Like Grimmsnarl. I am not spoon-fed, Price. Hey, thank you very much, Galaxy, for that subscribe. Well, thank you very much for that. How are you doing? That is also a glorious name right there. Thank you very much. That was not a shiny we missed. We didn't miss the shiny. It's been going pretty good. Thank you very much for that. It's honestly been a while since I've actually had someone with a sub-notification pop up. I love seeing the notification thingy. It's weird how it... Well, then again, no, Game Shark Arc did the dono and that corrected the font text, because normally when we don't have it for a while, it defaults to regular font. Yeah, don't do that, Danger, because I pay attention to the thing to look for the shinies, and people have tried doing that before. It does not work. I have only ever missed one shiny, and that is because I actually wasn't looking at the screen when the shiny appeared. But when I am looking at the screen, I do not miss shinies. It's okay. We got one. We got one shiny Impidimp. It's all good, Danger. It's all good. Yeah, there are people who have done it more like deliberately to be malicious in the past, and it's kind of like a policy we have. But yeah, we've only failed a few shinies, and the majority of the fails of the shinies was the Salazar ran away, so we couldn't actually get it, because it ran out of range of us before we could actually get to it. The Knackley, which I misclicked the button for it, so I actually set up a picnic rather than save, and that reset it. I'm only trying to unlock 6-star raids. The way to do that is you do 5-star raids. I don't think event 5-star raids count towards that. But unlocking 6-star raids is fairly easy. They are a fairly easy thing to do. One Impadimp. I'm doing very well, Angry Brit. One shiny Impadimp down, only one more shiny Impadimp to go. And I am really hoping this final shiny Impadimp is going to be a marked one. Because I would ideally like a marked shiny Impadimp for the EBL. That would be the ideal play. That would be very much the ideal setup. But I do love having, like, things with ribbons and marks. Because it just, I feel like it just adds a little bit more personality thing. Like, either that or, like, specific ribbons, like, Urshifu the Master, like, well, Urshifu the Rank Master. Like, that I like. That's a ribbon I delightfully love to have. Melia the Togekiss, the Tower Master. Also, I really know that I shouldn't be making fun of Sly for his shiny Sprigatito hunt. Considering at some point I'm probably going to be shiny hunting for female Togepi via shiny. So, that is a thing. When Togepi comes back to the game, I'm probably going to be shiny hunting for female shiny Togepi. But the good thing is I need 3 of them anyway, so I can always just, even if I need to, I can selectively breed that later on. Hello, Angie Britt. We have Angie Britt, and we have Ash, who is Angie Small. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. It is always delightful to have you guys. Actually, after this, we can go check the Porto Marinata auctions again to see if there's anything new there. Hopefully we get something new, but I do like my shiny Impadimp. Deerling. No shiny Bambi. No more shiny Bambi. No more shiny Bambi is allowed to exist. For those who don't know, the shiny we've gotten, I believe the second most of in all of the games I've ever played of Pokemon, is shiny Deerling in the Deerling family. First most shiny gotten is Chansey, but shiny Chansey was not on screen, so the memes don't exist for it. But all the shiny Deerling, they've been on camera. Not happy. Because it's drawing down my shiny luck. Bambi sad deer. Bambi is indeed sad deer. Bambi is indeed sad deer mode. But they don't need to be sad deer mode if they stop appearing as shiny deer mode. If the deer stops appearing as a shiny, we won't have a problem with that. Because the funniest part is all of the shiny Deerling we've gotten, they have never been boosted by sandwiches. They have always been, we are Masuda hunting and hatching eggs, and we walk into them. Every time. I find funny, but also mildly frustrating. We were shiny hunting shiny Applin, Evolving Diplin. I saw shiny, but let it go because that was not the one I was hunting in the end. Yeah, I always go get, anytime a shiny appears, even if it's not one that I'm looking for, I will always catch them. And one of the main reasons for that is actually because we have a box of spare shiny Pokemon. So, say I've gotten, again, like the Deerling, say I've gotten, my 2 shiny Deerling I need for the Living Shiny decks. Well, I don't need, 10 other shiny Deerling. So I'm going to trade these out to people in a shiny giveaway. We do the shiny giveaway every time that box fills up. which I believe we've got the spare shiny Raichu in this game. In Scarlet, we have a spare shiny Screamtail in Scarlet. We might be at the box being filled up, which might mean we are going to have another shiny giveaway soon then. Okay, that's pretty good. That would be pretty vibe. Of course I'll be shiny. I think Togepi because I'm my favorite. Yeah. I think we might actually be having a box nearly full of our shinies again, which is going to be good. But yeah, I generally catch them and just do them as giveaways whenever I get more shinies of Pokemon that I don't need. But like, we got a shiny Lucario. And we already have the entire Lucario family. So that other shiny is going to be up for giveaways. We got like multiple shiny Iron Jugulus, which all but one of them have been given away. And I mean a few others. But yeah, it's whenever we get duplicate shinies, we trade them away. Because I have no need for them, and I would rather give them to people who would be able to appreciate them more than I can. Because I certainly know I can't appreciate the shinies when I have dupes of them. I honestly do wonder if I'm going to even, like, maintain the living shiny decks, and whether I'm like, okay, I got the living shiny decks, and I'll just, like, trade them all away. Probably not going to trade them all away, though. Maybe some of them will trade away. But it's one of those, like, the account having done it. So there is that. But, I don't know, it's one... Again, it's one of those things a lot like the returning to Kaizo Ironmon. It's for down the road Maxis to think about. Of when we get there, and then we'll figure it out from there. Because I'm just making it up as I go. I have a lot of the Let's Play stuff, recorded content planned out, but when it comes to streams, I got nothing planned. It's just day to day, yeah, maybe this will work. Maybe that'll be a fun stream thing. Because, like, before we even actually started today, I was thinking about going in Masuda hunting, doing our mystery shiny hunt. But then I was like, no, I want to get Impidimp. I want to get shiny Impidimp. Finally knocked out of the thing. And, shiny Impidimp was the call. That was very much the play. Togepi is indeed precious bean. We do love Togepi. Togepi is precious little baby. We love Togepi. I did not. I am not a violent person. IRL. I have somewhat aggressive commentary about some things, but I am not a violent person by nature. I will honestly, like, play up joking about, like, aggressive stuff, but I won't, like, actually, I'm a very mild person, IRL. It's one of those things where you play up a persona in the stream thing. Yeah. Yeah, I can't really punch hard, so I'm not a confrontational person. Well, depending on depending on certain factors, I can be a confrontational person. Like, if you mess with my family, you mess with my friends, then confrontational stuff will happen. But about other stuff, not really confrontational. There's things like that. But yeah, we got the first Impidimp. We got the second Impidimp. We need one more. I'm hoping we get it today. I'm hoping we do get the Impidimp family knocked out entirely today, because anytime I don't need to hunt in Lag Tree Thicket is a good day. But also makes me think, how the freak am I going to shiny hunt Venonat? Because we got multiple duplicate shiny Venomoth, and we still haven't gotten Venonat. I honestly might even just hunt Venonat back in Let's Go. Because I have been thinking about hunting in Let's Go for some things, like, just some stuff like that. Which reminds me, I probably need to go get my friend Echo a Zapdos, because he's going to be starting competitive battling practice, and he asked me to get him a Zapdos. So I still need to get him his Zapdos. I still need to get him his Zapdos at some point. If I don't, I would probably have a brain spasm if that happened. My brain would just go flatline if that happened. I would be real. I honestly have no clue. Tadbulb. That was not a fun shiny hunt. The Tadbulb hunts were something. If you're ever gonna shiny hunt Tadbulb, it is faster to do sandwiches, but save your sanity and do the Suda method. Or just hunt Bellybolt. Do not hunt Tadbulb proper. Unless you're doing a living shiny dex, it's not worth the sanity shattering. Oh man, those were hunts. I honestly have no idea what I would do, but I'm getting ready to go back to school Monday, so maybe out of it. Yeah, I understand, David. I understand. I remember when I still had to go to school. I graduated college last year, I said a little over a year ago. More than happy, I don't need to go to school again. So, that is a feeling I can understand 100%. I honestly don't really dislike Shiny Gengar, but most of that is I don't really dislike too many shinies. I'm generally fairly mild when it comes to like my temperament of like certain shiny Pokemon. There's not many I would say like get me displeased. It's more so certain ones that just make me like physically uncomfortable to look at because like the color just makes me uncomfortable. But none I'm like the shiny is horrendous. It's more like, does the Ghost Team work? I think it kind of works. Like I like Shiny Dragonite. I know most people don't like Shiny Dragonite, but I think it's a decent green color. I think it's a fairly nice green. Granted, green also used to be my favorite color. It's been supplanted by purple, so might be slightly biased. Might be slightly biased in saying that. And here we go. We've actually already shiny hunted the Jigglypuff family. That was not fun. Shiny hunting Jigglypuff was one of the... I don't know, fairy types seem to take a while for us to shiny hunt. Meryl took a while to shiny hunt. The Jigglypuff family took a while to shiny hunt. It's always the fairy types with Sims. But a fun fact, I found a shiny Tadbulb during my time in Philly. Fun! Yeah, finding shinies during a playthrough is always just one of the greatest feelings there is. Because something just makes it special. My first playthrough team, I actually had a shiny Pawmi on my team. Because I was actually training my Tadbulb that I was planning on using in my playthrough. And then I found the shiny, and I was like, well, guess I'm using this over Tadbulb and Bellibolt. And that's how the shiny Pawmi was added to the team. That was the second actually shiny I found during that playthrough. The other shiny was the shiny Gulpin. However, I did not use the shiny Gulpin on the team. I had this sort of like rule when it comes to games. I will only use Pokemon that were new to the game. I will not use like Pokemon that did not. I won't use Pokemon that are not like connected to the Pokemon of the new games. Like I will use Pokemon that got a final evolution in that game, or Pokemon that got like 2 pre-evolutions in that game, but not like a baby evolution that got it during the game that you're never going to use. Or at least Pokemon that are exclusive from the region. So. He's like, oh, maybe calling it a day is actually the play, because today working in the yard was a little bit exhaustive. It also was almost time for dinner, so yeah, I guess we are going to go for an end-off today. Shiny Zoroark, again, Shiny Flamigo, always fun. But yeah, I think we're going to go on a raid. I think we are probably going to go on a raid right now. Very, very exhausting yard work today. Not fun. About like 30 minutes of walking up and down a hill with a big pair of garden loppers and carrying dried branches to throw in the garbage can. Not fun. Have a good day, David. But we're gonna go on a raid. Who are we gonna raid? Who are we going to raid? They've Sabaton, oh Barbie Girl. Oh my gosh, Sabaton. I love the Sabaton is one of my favorite bands. Great. Ooh, look at that. Let's see. Who do we raid? Oh yeah, Slime Man Boomer guy. Oh, he's doing a Splatoon stream. Fun. Music. Who's doing some Pokemon stuff right now? Who is doing... Ball Gamer? Yeah, but Ball Gamer's like... You know, let's go raid that Bald Gamer. It's been a while since I've actually raided them. Kind of been a little intimidated about raiding Bald Gamer, because like he's kind of been like blown up. But let's go raid Bald Gamer. I'll see you guys. Well, actually, is Bald Gamer on sub-only mode? Let's go raid Bald Gamer. Let's go raid Bald Gamer. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.